So you're looking to get into home bartending, but you're worried that you don't have the space or the money to go out and buy all these different types of bottles. If that sounds like you, then this is the correct video. My name is Ron Virapin. I'm a full-time medical doctor, and I've been a home bartender for over 5 years now. During that time, I've learned how to make over 100 different cocktails, and I've thrown over 50 cocktail parties. And I teach other busy professionals how to make cocktails at home. And in this video, I'm going to be answering that very important question. What do you do if you're not able to go out and buy all these different types of bottles, but you still want to get into home bartending? And I think I'm the correct person to answer this question because although I do live in my own apartment now and I have a good paying job where I'm able to go out and buy and spend money on these different types of bottles, it wasn't always this way. I wanted to get into home bartending even when I was still in college and even when I was still in medical school. And at that time, I obviously wasn't making any money because I was a full-time student. And I also didn't have the most space because I was living in either a dorm or I was living in an Airbnb or I was even living with my parents at different times during that. So I was sharing my fridge space, pantry space, and shelf space essentially with either roommates or with family or with even sometimes random people when I was staying in Airbnbs. And on top of all of that, I was also moving around a lot. I was moving oftentimes every year and sometimes even every few months, like 4 months or every 6 months. So this was definitely a big problem that I had. And I wish this is some information that I knew at that time, because if I had this advice, I would have gone out and started my home bartending journey even earlier than that. Because I didn't really start until June 2020. And at that point, I had already finished school and I'd already gotten my own apartment. So I felt like that was the perfect time to start. But if I had known this advice, I would have started even before that. And the main advice that I want to give you in this video is that, you don't have to go out and buy all of these different bottles all at once. You should really go out and build your home bar up slowly. Or if you are really even more limited on space and money, then you can even do it stepwise. So instead of having all these different bottles at once, I would just say go out and buy one bottle. And here are, right in front of me are my core spirits. So I would say just go out and purchase one of those. For example, you can go out and purchase the Havana Club rum and just make a ton of different rum drinks. So you can mainly start with a daiquiri, and then if you want, you can go and make, so with the daiquiri, you just take this bottle of rum and then you go out and buy some lime juice and you go out and buy some simple syrup, and there you can go ahead and make the daiquiri. You can make a bunch of daiquiris, and then once you get bored of that, if you still have some leftover rum, then you can go out and buy a bottle of ginger beer, and then you can start making the rum buck. And then it really builds on and so forth like that. When you take one bottle and then you start making multiple cocktails from that bottle, and then you eventually finish that bottle, and then you can go ahead and toss the empty bottle of rum, and then you can go out and buy a bottle of rye whiskey like this. You can start making some old fashions. You can make Manhattan, and you can make a lot of these different types of classic cocktails with this. You can even make the whiskey sour, for example. And each bottle contains about enough alcohol to make about 12 classic drinks, 12 drinks that use a standard 2-ounce pour. So for example, with the bottle of whiskey here, the rye whiskey, you can go out and you can make 4 Manhattans, 4 old fashions, and then 4 whiskey sours. And that's really with one bottle, you learn how to make 3 different types of cocktails, and you didn't have to go out and buy all of these different types of bottles. So I would say that's the most important thing you do. Buy one bottle of alcohol, one bottle of liquor, and make a bunch of different cocktails with that bottle of liquor. And then once that's finished, then you go out, then you purchase the second bottle. And that way, if you're really limited on space, at any one time, you only have 1 or maybe 2 bottles of liquor taking up space in your bar cart or in your pantry or on your shelf somewhere or on your kitchen island or wherever you're happening to store everything, or your kitchen countertop. So that way you're only really storing 1 or 2 bottles instead of having this massive collection. And also it saves you money because you're not really wasting anything. You're gonna go out and you're gonna buy 1 bottle and then just make everything with that. Once that's finished, then you go about another bottle and then make everything with that. So you're guaranteed not to waste anything. And that's really important when you're, especially if you're early on in your journey, you're worried that you don't have enough money. You don't wanna go out and waste money buying all this different ingredients that you're end up not gonna use. So that's my main piece of advice for this video. Just buy bottles one at a time and then make all the different cocktails with that bottle. And the other piece of advice I want to give you here, these bottles are not just here by coincidence. These are actually a lot of my workhorse spirits because I think they're great for home bartenders because they reach that Goldilocks principle where they're not too cheap, not too expensive, and they're in that sweet spot where they're good enough to be used in cocktails and they have enough quality, but they're not super expensive where they're going to break the bank. And also with cocktails, you also don't want to use too high quality ingredients either, because the ingredients you're going to be using are naturally going to be mixed with other ingredients, so you're not going to taste the ingredients as much, but you still want a base level of quality when you're making cocktails. So these are the workhorse spirits that I found are really in that sweet spot. They're all in terms of US dollars, they're somewhere between 20 US dollars and about 35 US dollars. So they're all right in that sweet spot. And for white rum and rum in general, I really have two workhorses. This is one of them, the Havana Club. The other one is called Plantaray 3-Star. So I think either of those are great options. Then for whiskey, I have actually two whiskeys here. Right here is the rye whiskey, and then here is the bourbon. So these are the two most important types of whiskeys, and they're used in any type of classic cocktail like whiskey sour, Manhattan, or old fashioned. So for rye whiskey, Rittenhouse rye is my go-to. And then for bourbon, this is Four Roses, and this is actually the small batch Four Roses, but there is a regular type of Four Roses that'll be even more affordable. I believe it's about somewhere in the mid-20s in terms of price. And then over here, I have tequila. And really, with tequila, you want to go with any brand that's 100% blue agave, and that's in that price range of about $20 to $35. And the one that I started using in 2020 and that I still use to this day is Terramana. Then over here are the other two clear spirits. Beefeater, I believe there's really no better gin in terms of workhorse spirit for your home bar than Beefeater gin. It's in the London Dry category, and it's still just somewhere in the low 20s in terms of cost for a full 750 milliliter bottle. And then here is Tito's vodka, especially if you live in America, because Tito's is made in Austin, Texas. It's very affordable in America, but perhaps I'm not sure the exact price outside of the US, but it's always in the low 20s for a full bottle here. And Tito's works in a wide variety of vodka cocktails. So if you're not sure exactly what bottles to buy, I would say go out and buy these bottles. I find that they're really in that sweet spot where they're enough quality, but they're not going to break the bank. So that's the second piece of advice I would give you. Because there are so many different bottles out there in each category, and it can be really confusing. Do you buy the super cheap one? Do you buy the super nice one? Do you buy somewhere in the middle? My opinion, that price range of 20 US dollars to 35 US dollars is the sweet spot that I think all of your liquor bottles should be in that price range. And these six are all in that range. So if you're looking to really get started, I would say just go out and purchase one of these six bottles and make a bunch of different cocktails with that bottle, and then go out after that, buy another one, and then do the same thing and rinse and repeat. And at that time, and that way you're saving money because you're buying essentially the workhorse spirits that are not too expensive, and you're also only buying bottles one at a time, so you're not really going to be wasting any alcohol or wasting any money by buying alcohol that you're not using. And then you're also saving space because at any given time, you're only going to be having one or two bottles. And if you're like me and you're more advanced, you're more serious about this hobby, then you can go out and have this massive collection. Just in front of me here, I have 6 bottles behind me, and I have 6 in front of me, so that's 12 bottles. And that's not even all the ones I have. I have a few more stored in the cupboard as well. So if you're more intermediate or advanced, then you can go out and purchase bottles like this. But when you're first getting started, just buy 1 or 2 bottles and make as many drinks as you can with just that. And that's how you really learn and get started. And if I had known that advice when I was still a student and still wanting to get into this journey, then I would have started even sooner. But I'm glad I started now, because as the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 5 or 10 years ago, but the second best time to plant a tree is today. So really don't procrastinate. If you're looking to get into this, go out and get started. And one of the reasons I started this channel was to help other people like a younger version of myself to really get started on this journey, because it's been a lot of fun and it's been so rewarding, and I really want you all to experience that as well. So anyways, if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I really like to do 2 types of videos on this channel. One will be like this video where I give stories and advice, tips and tricks from my own home bartending journey over the past 5 years that I feel will help you guys all get started and become the best home bartenders that you can be. And the second type of video is where I do tutorials on how to make specific cocktails. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you. Cheers.